But it was about this time that Frederick, the greatest prince of the world, the wonder of the world and its great transformer, died. This is how Matthew of Paris remembers the death of Emperor Frederick II. Frederick II was Holy Roman Emperor and lived from 1195 to 1250. He is considered to be one of the most important Holy Roman Emperors in the Middle Ages and still plays a very big role in the national identity of Germany and Italy. Yet we should ask ourselves, why is a Holy Roman Emperor so important for the history of Italy, especially Sicily, and Germany? Today we are going to explore the story of Emperor Frederick II, his origin and also his deeds and his legacy for what came after him. Frederick II came from the very powerful Hohenstaufen dynasty, which did not call itself Hohenstaufen dynasty. The rise of the Hohenstaufen dynasty had begun in the 11th century thanks to its relations with the Salian dynasty, especially with the infamous Emperor Henry IV. However, the Hohenstaufen dynasty would not be kings until 1138, when Conrad III became king of Germany. The father of Frederick II was Henry VI. Henry VI was Holy Roman Emperor after 1190, after the death of Frederick I Barbarossa, Holy Roman Emperor, and Henry VI was married to Constance of Sicily, who had a claim to the throne of the Sicilian kingdom. The Sicilian kingdom was a relatively young kingdom which only existed since about 60 years in the year 1190, and when the last monarch there died in 1189, an illegitimate king called Tancred of Lecce became king of Sicily, and Henry VI did not tolerate this and considered himself to be the rightful king of Sicily, and even started a war against the kingdom because of the claims of his wife. After a few years, Henry VI would finally accomplish his goal and conquer the kingdom of Sicily in 1194. A bit later, his son Frederick was born. Originally, Frederick was given the name Roger Frederick in remembrance of his father on his paternal side, Frederick I, but also in memory of his grandfather on his mother's side, which was Roger II of Sicily, and these two names actually were a symbol for the culture Frederick II grew up in. The Kingdom of Sicily was not only a state inhabited by Italians. In fact, the Kingdom of Sicily was a Norman kingdom. It was founded by the Normans, but there were also Greek and Arabic influences in the kingdom. Because of these strong cultural influences, Frederick II lived in a world, or he was born in a world, where very different cultural tendencies came to be, and that was also the reason why German was never his mother tongue. He did not speak German as his mother tongue, and even as an adult he spent most of his life in Sicily. Henry VI had conquered the Kingdom of Sicily. However, this was how a grave conflict with the Pope began. The Pope considered the kings of Sicily to be his vassal, and now with Henry VI being the king of Sicily, the Pope wanted Henry VI to become his vassal, and Henry did not tolerate this. On the other hand, the princes of Germany were not okay with the conquest of Sicily, since there were many problems concerning the Holy Roman Empire, Germany, and the Kingdom of Sicily, since the Holy Roman Empire did elect its kings, while the Kingdom of Sicily was a hereditary monarchy, meaning that the son of the king always became the next king. So there were too many very different kingdoms, and Henry VI did have problems to unite these kingdoms. He tried to make Germany a hereditary monarchy with the son of the king always become the next king or emperor. However, this did not work out. Yet he managed to have his son Frederick elected his successor. In 1198, Emperor Henry VI passed away. He wasn't even 40 years old, he was very young when he died, and this is how underage Frederick II became King of Sicily, but not King of Germany and not Emperor, at least not yet. In Germany, his uncle Philip of Swabia was elected king, but this is how a grave conflict with Otto IV started. Otto IV was a member of the Welf dynasty, a dynasty which was very powerful and very important in the Holy Roman Empire, and even had relations with the ancient Carolingian dynasty. Otto IV and Philip of Swabia started a war against each other, and they both fought for the German crown. This war was not so important for Frederick II, at least at the beginning. In 1209, Frederick II married Constance of Aragon, who was the daughter of the King of Aragon, and they had a son who was called Henry. In Germany, on the other hand, Philip of Swabia was assassinated in 1208, and Otto IV considered himself to be the winner of the fight for the crown. In 1209, Otto IV was crowned emperor by Pope Innocent, and he had to promise the Pope that he would not attack the kingdom of Sicily. Nevertheless, that's exactly what he did. Shortly after his coronation, Otto IV attacked the kingdom of Sicily, probably also trying to depose Frederick II and killing him. This did not work out. Pope Innocent excommunicated Otto IV, and the Princes of Germany, who did not want Otto as their emperor anymore, elected Frederick, who was a teenager at this time, their new king, and Frederick went to Germany, where he was elected king another time. This is how the second part of the war for the German crown started. Otto IV against Frederick II. The majority of the German princes were on the side of Frederick II, and also the King of France, Philip II, was on the side of Frederick, but not mainly because he just liked Frederick, but mainly because of the fact that Otto IV had a strong alliance with the King of England, John Lackland. John Lackland and Otto IV were defeated by the forces of the French king in 1214 at the Battle of Bouvines. Otto IV did not lose his life, but he lost his crown. He died in 1280, still considering himself emperor, but nobody really considered him to be emperor anymore. Frederick, on the other hand, was king of Germany and was crowned emperor in 1220. This is how Frederick II became German king and later emperor. The emperors of the Holy Roman Empire had to be crowned emperors by the Pope, but they were kings by election. This is very important to understand. As I said previously, Frederick II had a son who was called Henry, and Frederick had his son Henry elected king of Germany in 1222. This is mainly because of the reason the Pope did not want one monarch to rule Germany and Sicily at the same time. Therefore, Frederick II had his son made king of Germany, while he himself stayed king of Sicily. Still, he would always control his son, and this would also lead to conflict between father and son. Frederick had to promise Pope Innocent that he would start a crusade against the Muslims. However, he did not really have the power, or he did not really want to start a crusade yet. He always told various popes that he wanted to start the crusade. However, this did never really work out. In 1228, Frederick did not start his crusade yet, but married Isabella II, the Queen of Jerusalem. It is questionable why Frederick II did that. Some scholars say that this was a preparation for the crusade, which eventually started later. However, some scholars believe that he just wanted the title of King of Jerusalem to show that, well, he's the boss. Frederick II eventually did start his crusade in 1228 against the city of Acre, and one important thing about Frederick II is that this crusade was not a crusade fought with arms. In fact, Frederick II did negotiate with the Muslims and even made the Muslims cede the cities of Bethlehem and Jerusalem to the Christians, so the Christians were allowed to visit these cities. It is also questionable if the crusade of Frederick II was actually a crusade, since he also attacked Jerusalem, which at least by name, formed part of the Kingdom of Jerusalem, whose king he was. The crusade of Frederick II was a success, and the most important thing about it is it was not fought with arms. Still, some ecclesial companions of the crusade were very unsatisfied with Frederick II, especially unsatisfied by the fact that the emperor had been excommunicated by Pope Gregory IX before, simply because Frederick II never actually started his crusade. So he was excommunicated when he made this crusade, and yet this crusade was a great success for him. He later made peace with Pope Gregory IX in 1230, which was known as the Peace of San Germano. However, there were other grave conflicts in the empire, mainly between him and his son Henry. As I said previously, Henry was elected King of Germany in 1222, and Frederick had his son elected king only to cede some privileges to the most important princes, so they would agree that Henry became King of Germany. Henry was someone who really knew who he was. He considered himself to be the rightful king, and when he was finally old enough to rule alone, his father did not let him rule. Instead, he ordered that the Duke of Bavaria, Louis I, actually governed for his son Henry in the Northern Empire, Germany, and this led to conflict between Henry and Louis, and they would soon start to fight each other. In 1229, Louis I of Bavaria was assassinated. We do not really know why he was assassinated, and we don't even know whom he was assassinated by, yet it is believed that Henry the King of Germany had planned the assassination. The growing conflict between Henry and Louis, but also other bad things Henry did to his father, led to conflict between father and son, between Frederick and Henry, and in 1235 Frederick would finally enter Germany. One time in his reign, Frederick spent most of his reign in Sicily, and he would depose his son. Some sources tell that Frederick II had Ethiopians and exotic animals with him when he crossed the Alps into Germany. However, this might be a topos, since Frederick II was already considered to be a very exotic person by most Germans, so it is kind of visible that the authors of the sources just thought, hey, this emperor is so exotic, it is clear that he must have exotic animals and exotic people in the crowd he's coming with. However, the princes of Germany mainly joined the side of the emperor, and they would help the emperor against his son Henry. Henry was eventually deposed as King of Germany in 1235, and he was imprisoned in Italy, where he allegedly committed suicide in 1242. Frederick had another son, fortunately, whose name was Conrad, and Conrad would later become the new King of Germany, but we'll save that for later. Albeit the conflict in Germany, Frederick II also concentrated on Italy, where the Lombards, who already fought his grandfather, Frederick I Barbarossa, started to attack his kingdom of Sicily once again, and also the Pope joined the side of the Italians, and Frederick II fought war against the Lombards, against the Italians, and he eventually defeated them in 1237. However, the Pope, Gregory IX, excommunicated Frederick II another time in 1239. The last years of the reign of Frederick II are commonly considered to be the most difficult ones, since it shows a period of decay. Around this time, the Mongols attacked Europe. They defeated the Hungarian king and even crossed the border to modern Poland. However, when their leader died, the Mongols weren't considered to be a big threat, yet the war between the Pope and the Emperor was just about to begin. Frederick II was called Stupa Mundi, the wonder of the world, by those who admired him, but he was also called the Antichrist, or a servant of Satan, by those who hated him. and the war between the Pope and the Emperor was also a war of propaganda. In 1245, the new Pope, Innocent IV, declared Frederick II to be deposed. Yet the kingdoms of England and France still considered Frederick II to be emperor, but the princes of Germany started to elect new kings who were supposed to fight Frederick II. The first king was Henry Raspe, who was elected king of Germany, or anti-king in Germany, in 1246 against Frederick II. He died 1 year later, and the princes elected a new king who was the king of Holland, William of Holland, who was a teenager around this time. William of Holland would actually outlive Frederick II and Conrad IV and really become king of Germany much later. But the emperor still tried to fight the Italians in the south and the princes of Germany who were against them in the north. And in 1250, Frederick II eventually died in Italy. He was succeeded by his son Conrad, but Conrad did not have enough opportunities to save the Hohenstaufen dynasty from outdying, and after his death, William of Holland gained the acknowledgement of the princes of Germany for around 2 years before being slain by the Frisians in battle, and this is how the Great Interregnum starts. The Interregnum in Germany means the time between two kingships, and the time between Frederick II and King Rudolf I of Germany, who was elected king in 1273, is commonly considered to be this kind of an interregnum. The last attempt to restore the Hohenstaufen dynasty was made by Conradin, the son of Conrad IV, but this attempt was eventually crushed by Charles of Anjou, the brother of the French king, in 1268. Let us talk about the legacy of Frederick II. I named Frederick II the second Charlemagne. You may ask, why is he the second Charlemagne? Well, just like Charlemagne, Frederick II united different cultures in his empire, and he was a great conqueror, of course, but he was also a great scientist. He was actually very interested in science. He could be very cruel. This is also what sources tell. But just like Charlemagne, Frederick II changed Europe and medieval Europe, and some people of today might consider him to be a great visionary, because Frederick II actually tried to establish structures or other institutions in his kingdom which seem to be very modern. Therefore, you might say that Frederick II is actually one of the most interesting monarchs of medieval Europe, whose legacy still has an importance today. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the first video in which you can see me. Yeah, I hope you liked it. I hope you could understand everything, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.